Helps if we switch them on, doesn't it? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Can everybody hear us? Well, good evening, ladies and gents. Welcome to the Ace Café here in West London for this rather unique event. Welcome to the 2013 Metzler Road to Legend road racing launch. And what a launch it is this evening. It's rather unique because we're also streaming it live on Facebook and also on bikesportnews.com. So welcome to everybody who is streaming live on the internet, and hope you're going to enjoy what we're going to announce over the next hour or so. 150 years the brand of Metzler has been in existence, and this year marks a significant anniversary in more ways than one, because this evening we will be announcing some major developments to do with the brand of Metzeler. So make sure you keep your ears peeled on that one, because there is some very, very interesting announcements to be made. In addition to that, we've got some of the stars from Metzeler themselves who are going to be coming up here onto stage and telling us a little bit about the product and a little bit about the developments that we're going to be hearing about in 2013. And also, to wrap things up, we've got some of the stars of the track. We've got some TT stars from the current era. We've got some TT stars who are very much going to be part of the future, including one guy who is rapidly becoming a road racing legend. More about that when we get round to the interviews. So without further ado, ladies and gents, let's find out all about this unique 150th anniversary for Metzeler. And to tell us all about it, it's the International Brand and Product Manager for Metzeler, Mr. Enrico De Loya. Enrico, welcome to sunny England.
Should I speak Italian or English?
I was going to say, Enrico, if we can
I know that you speak Italian.
Buonasera, whatever. The good thing about it is, can we do this in English? Because my Italian is not so good. So
okay, I'll do my best in English.
And if not, we have to do it in Japanese, which might be a problem. Enrico, 150 years of the Metzeler brand, a very significant year for you.
Yeah, you're right. First of all, we are happy and glad to be here in this temple. This is an iconic place for motorcycling and for riders and bikers. So we are really happy to be here celebrating this anniversary in front of all these fans, with the riders, and together with Larry, speaking about this important year. In fact, it was 1883, so it was 1863 when Metzler was born, founded by Mr. Metzler in Munich. And under 50 years later, we are here celebrating this important anniversary in the UK, launching our important challenge in the road racing, in the real road racing.
Absolutely, it is all about real road racing, Enrico, and I think that is significant. One of the announcements that you are going to make tonight is a significant sponsorship of the world's fastest road race. Metzeler will be sponsoring the 2013 Ulster Grand Prix.
Yeah. In fact, Metzler is always been interested in those events and races that are close to the people. And the Ulster Grand Prix, together with the other real road racing events, are those events where the real passion for motorcycling takes shape and take place. That's why Metzler got involved in the Ulster Grand Prix, becoming the title sponsor. And we are really happy to start this involvement, this challenge, together with the Ulster Grand Prix organization.
And the real reason for this, Enrico, is the correlation between the road circuits, where the riders race on, and the product of the road tyres. You do a lot of research and development, and this helps you provide a better product.
Yeah, I mean, Metzler has been producing tyres since that many years. And the races themselves and the real road racing are those places where we can learn a lot, where we can test our products together with our R&D people. We can challenge ourselves, and we can make really a better and innovative product to launch on the street for the everyday market, for the everyday biker.
You've seen, Enrico, we don't always have sunny days in the UK. Today is one day that it's very, very rare that it actually rains. But it's important to road riders in this country that they have a product that they can rely on, both when it's very, very dry, but also in the wet. And that is something that's very important to you as well.
Yeah, I mean, for Metzler, safety is an important issue. When you go biking, when you are on your bike, the most important thing, you want to be safe, you want to enjoy, you want to feel free. And that's why Metzler always look at performance on one side, but mainly also at wet performance, in order to provide to the motorcyclist the best product using the best technology, always being innovative.
And also at the TT, Metzler are going to have a very big presence this year with the TT Village and, of course, the TT Party as well. So lots to look forward to on the Isle of Man.
Yeah, our aim is to involve and to be together with the motorcyclists on the Isle of Man. That's why we are launching the Metzler Village and we are organizing the Under 15 Metzler Ultimate Party. But I would like to leave this part to my colleague Jim Warland from the UK that will tell you more about this important event that we are going to organize.
Another important development this year is the website, of course, Enrico, and lots of information on that one. Perhaps you can tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, we want to share all the contents, we want to share all the stories about our heroes, about the legend of the real road race, together with the audience, together with the motorcyclists around the world that browse on the web. That's why we created and developed a dedicated website section of our Metzler website, where we'll be publishing all the contents that we will produce during this season. At the Northwest 200, at the Tourist Trophy, Southern 100 post-TT races, and in August at the Metzler Ulster Grand Prix.
That's it, the 4 big road races that Metzler are going to have a massive involvement. And that website, ladies and gentlemen, all the W's, metzler.com/road racing. That's where you can check out all the latest developments to do with the Metzler product and the activities that are coming up in 2013. Enrico, thank you very much, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, the International Product Brand Manager for Metzler, Enrico De Loya.
Thank you, Larry.
Well, you heard Enrico mention about the TT Village and the TT Party, and the name of Jim Warland. Well, Jim is the Product and Marketing Manager for Metzler, and to tell us a little bit about that, here is Jim. Jim Warland.
Good evening, Larry.
Hi, Jim. Jim, Enrico alluded to the fact that this job that's on at the TT, with the TT Village and the TT Party, exclusive to Metzler customers. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, what we've done is we want to share our 150th anniversary with the end users. So what we've done is we've created a Metzler Village at the National Sports Centre, which is a brand new sports stadium. And we're creating an exclusive Metzler campsite, effectively. It'll be a high level of camping. There's excellent facilities. They're all brand new. And we'd like to invite all Metzler riders to come and enjoy it that are on the island.
How do people get involved with that then, Jim? Do they have to pre-register on the website, or do they just turn up with a pair of Metzler tyres on?
No, exactly. They pre-register on the website. They can book their camping places there. And if they register, they will arrive on Metzler tyres, and we'll check they do. Then they get their camping for free. So it's really us giving something back to the end user.
That's a camping which is very, very popular on the Isle of Man, and anybody that is going to the TT and plans on camping, then that might be something to check out. But I also saw that there's a party at the Villa Marina on the evening after the senior TT. Where do we get our invites for that, Jim?
Yeah, absolutely. It's an open invitation. It's at the like you say, the Villa Marina. It's going to be a fantastic event. We'll have lots of rock bands there. There'll be the usual TT revelry that goes on, and we really want to have a big bang at the end of the event. event, to celebrate, hopeful success on the track, but also success for us and all our Metzler customers that will visit.
I'm sure you'll have a lot to celebrate, Jim. Finally, big happenings at the Ulster Grand Prix and involvement at the Northwest 200 and the Southern 100. It's going to be a busy year for Metzeler.
Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. We're incredibly excited about the year. Metzler, we've been involved in racing for a very, very long time, but this really is the biggest thing we've ever done. We're very excited. It's all about the pure roads. It's all about the riders, the real riders. And we just can't wait for the year to start.
And you're very involved with the website again. You mentioned about people booking online. That website, Metzeler.com/road racing. That's
absolutely,
the one.
Absolutely.
And people that's updated regularly, and people can check on all the time on there.
Exactly. There'll be news on there. They can see if the camping's available, but there'll also be news about the races. There'll be videos uploaded on there from ourselves, and we'll also invite the end user to upload their own photos and videos and really make it interactive.
Absolutely, Jim. Well, that's given you an insight. That website again, Metzeler.com/road racing. Check it out if you want all the latest news from Pirelli. Jim, thanks very much. Ladies and gentlemen, Jim Warland.
Cheers, Larry.
Jim, the product and marketing manager from Metzeler. Well, next up is a guy who knows all about road racing because he was, a number of years ago, one of the top TT riders that was around. He's nowadays the Metzeler UK racing manager, and the fact is he stood on a Isle of Man TT podium no less than 13 times. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jason Griffiths. Welcome, Jason.
Hello, Larry.
Good to see you here. Now, Jason, you won't thank me for reminding you again, because you always point this out, that 13 times on an Isle of Man podium, but sadly, never that elusive win. How close did you come?
Oh, I think the first time McGuinness won a 250 race, and I was second, Larry. But I suppose if you're going to lose to somebody, you may as well lose to McGuinness.
Well, he is rapidly becoming the legend. But you have, in fairness, you have won the Ulster Grand Prix, you've won the Southern 100, and you kind of knew your way around, wasn't it? So we'll let you off with that one, Jason. From a work point of view, busy year ahead for Metzeler.
Yeah, obviously it's a really exciting programme. The work has started. Gary Johnson, who's here tonight, Dean Harrison, and also Alistair Seeley were down at Almeria in Spain a couple of weeks ago. So we've done some of the testing work, and results were positive. So roll on May.
You must be fairly confident this year, Jason. You've got a hell of a lineup, it's got to be said, because as well as the names that you mentioned, you've got the likes of Stuart Easton out on the bikes, and also the newcomer Josh Brooks, who we're going to be having a chat to lately. It's not easy to win TT races, or any road race for that matter, and you've got a lot of competition. But do you think you've got what it takes to actually box off most of the wins this year?
Yeah, I mean, I think if we look at the calendar and we look at the Northwest 200 as the starting point in the year, you don't look any further than Alistair Seeley at the minute. He's the form man. He's moved this year to Kawasaki Machinery, obviously focusing on super sport in the British Championship with the Gearlink team. That's a proven bike in a proven team. Our old friend Nick Morgan is looking after him with a super stock bike.
Somebody said he was here tonight. I've not actually seen him yet. But
so that will be a strong super stock bike and also a strong super bike. So Alistair will be a difficult man to beat. Stuart Easton's returning. Stuart is an incredible rider. I'm really, really pleased that he's with Metzeler. So I think he's going to be another top guy at the Northwest 200. Josh, I'm sure, will pick up the circuit really quickly. Obviously, he's a proven British Championship contender as far as superbike goes. So I'm sure he's going to be right on the money there. And then obviously Gary, TT winner, Dean as the most exciting newcomer. I think we got a hell of a lineup, and there are others. We're not mentioning Guy Martin.
I was just going to say, do you think Guy, this elusive TT win that hasn't come today in all the years he's been trying, that would be some party to get invited to if that happened, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be helped, I think, by having Josh on board. I think the direction in the team, Josh and his crew chief Stuart Johnson are going to add a new dimension to that team, and I think Guy will benefit from that.
Is there still the adage, win on Sunday, sell on Monday, as far as tyre sales is concerned?
Yeah, I think so, Larry. And I think when we talk about the international road races, the profile is growing all the time. They've got a really special feeling about them. I don't need to tell you what it's like to stand on the grid at the Northwest 200. It's a totally different feeling. You go to the TT with the single start. Each guy starts individually, and that's got a real tension about it. And then we spoke about the Ulster Grand Prix, or you did earlier on. And again, you got that mass start on the flying kilo at the Ulster. It's a really special feeling. And Northwest and TT fall quite early in the selling season in May, so there's a big influence there. You win at the Northwest, you win at the TT. It's something that's over and done with in May and early June. It can be advertised, and it's really pushing the product. And at the end of the day, it's road racing on real roads, and that's a real test of tyres as well as men and machines. Busy year in both BSB and on the roads, Jason. Thanks very much for that. Ladies and gentlemen, the racing manager for Metzler UK, Jason Griffiths. Thanks. Well, now on to another ex-rider who probably raced with Jason on a number of occasions, because you probably recognise the accent when we get him up here. He is a former Ulster Grand Prix winner, but nowadays he's more involved with the Ulster Grand Prix because he is president of the Ulster Grand Prix. Ladies and gentlemen, from Northern Ireland, please welcome James Courtney. Welcome, James.
Thank you, Laurie.
Do you have a good trip over?
Yep, good trip over today. Sorry.
Absolutely. Well, James, ex-teammate to Joey Dunlop back in '98, I think it was. And we won't talk about what happened the following year on the Red Bull Ducati. Well, we will very briefly. He slid into a wall at Greba Bridge and broke his leg pretty badly. But nowadays, on the safe side of the fence, is it, James? Very much involved with the Ulster Grand Prix.
Yes, I've been involved in the local club for 25 years now. I live on the Dundroad Road, just a mile, less than a mile from the circuit, so I've always had a good interest in Dundroad, the Ulster Grand Prix, yeah.
And you're a former winner around there, of course, so that helps. Yes,
absolutely. I remember growing up when I was a kid, watching Ray McCulloch and the guys racing around, so yeah.
We're going to see a lot of blue Metzeler decaling and signage at the Ulster Grand Prix this year. As president of the Ulster Grand Prix, you must be delighted that a global brand like Metzeler has got involved with that event.
Absolutely. I'd like to welcome the Metzler guys on board, and brilliant to have a global brand for the world's fastest road race, the Ulster Grand Prix. It's very good, yeah.
You mentioned the world's fastest road race there. It's quicker than the TT, it's quicker than the Northwest 200, it's quicker than anywhere else. Bruce Anstey holds that lap record at 133.977 miles an hour. I think a tenth of a second off doing a 134 mile an hour lap. That's not hanging about around there, James.
No, it's pretty fast now. Last year we had a real good weather, and we were expecting the lap record to go, but just the way it was maybe too warm last year, and it just didn't go, but it's due to go, I think, some of these years again soon, maybe this year.
Yeah, a 40-year-old bloke from New Zealand can't hold the lap record for that much longer, can he? But we always see wonderful racing at the Ulster Grand Prix. We see wonderful racing on all the roads. But at the Ulster, it's not like the time trial like there is at the TT. It's not the slow corners like there is at the Northwest. But from your point of view, it's an absolutely flat-out oval, effectively, and the racing around there never ever seems to disappoint.
No, it seems to be, over the last few years we've been building, and the spectators are definitely coming more spectators. It's a rider's favourite as well, the circuit. It's just the characteristics of the type of circuit it is. It's got a wee bit of everything, and it's just a fabulous circuit.
So the message is to fans is get yourselves to the Northwest, to the TT, but don't forget about the Ulster as well, because you'll see some of the best racing all season there.
Absolutely, yeah.
And there's plenty of availability for hotels and flights and ferries and everything else like that?
Yeah, absolutely. We're right less than 10 miles from the sort of Lisburn, Antrim, Belfast. That's the three major town cities in that area. And we're close to the ports and the airports as well, less than 10 miles. So yes, plenty of places to stay, and you won't be disappointed.
We look forward to seeing you there in August, James. Ladies and gentlemen, James Courtney, the president of the Ulster Grand Prix and former winner of the actual Ulster Grand Prix as well. Thanks, James.
Thank you.
Ladies and gents, if we can have the best of order in the room when we're doing the interviews, we're not going to be on air much longer, but just so that anybody that wants to listen to us, feel free to come towards the front if you so wish. But because now we've got one or two of the other stars of the show. You've heard about the product of Metzeler, the people behind it, and the various activities that are going to be taking place in 2013. Well, we wouldn't have any events if it wasn't for the riders. And, well, we're going to get an ex-rider up as well at this particular point in time because he does run a pretty mean team. But one of these future stars of the TT, without a shadow of a doubt, is a young man by the name of Dean Harrison, who's coming up onto stage. And he's going to be joined by the MSS team boss, Nick Morgan. That's it, I knew you'd come the wrong way. Nick, we'll start with you first. Nick, who's the more experienced rider out of the two. Don't think you ever did any of the roads, did you, Nick, when you were riding?
Yeah, I did the Manx for a bit, from 91 to 94, which was all right. Did it with Jason, actually.
Did you?
Yeah, he beat me.
Yeah. Most people beat the likes of you and me, though, didn't we? Nick, unfortunately, having a year out of British Superbikes this year, the emphasis is very much on the roads, and obviously Metzler are going to play a big part in this. So, slight change of plan for you this year. Yeah,
definitely. You know, we've sort of pulled out of BSB for this year for the obvious financial reasons, and it's given us an opportunity to sort of hook up with Dean and the RC Express guys, and do the roads, which I'm really looking forward to be honest. You know.
Yeah, I think it's a totally different concept, though, isn't it? When you go to the Northwest 200, the Ulster Grand Prix, the TT, it's perhaps a little bit more laid back. When you arrive at a BSB meeting on a Thursday night, your feet don't touch the floor till Sunday night, so it'd be a little bit more relaxed, perhaps, for you.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, BSB it's a tough job, you know. I mean, all racing stuff doesn't matter what you're doing, whether it's BEMSI or nationals or whatever you do, you know. But it's a much nicer atmosphere on the roads. I mean, it's a much more there's much more camaraderie. There's, you know, but the competition is still there, you know, and it's still you've got to get out there, you've got to do your bit, and you've got to beat the opposition because that's what you go for.
And of course, the manufacturers and the trade sponsors, they put a big emphasis on the roads. So you, as the team owner, you've got to deliver.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, that's what we've got Dean. You know, because he's going to deliver, aren't you, mate? Yes, Nick. So, yeah, no, it is. I mean, you've got to deliver. You've got to deliver in whatever you do, you know. The roads have certainly sort of had a big resurgence over the last few years. They've done a fantastic job over at the TT. I know Mervyn's working hard at the Northwest as well. And I'm sure the Ulster will be another good event on top of that.
Yeah, I think it will. I think the key to it is the weather, of course, Nick. You know, that makes any event. But we've seen how good the Metzler tyres are, whether it's wet, dry, or whatever. So you don't have any problems in that department, I don't think.
Nah, the tyres are fantastic. We had a really successful test just recently down in Almeria. You know, Dean got them very well because he's just sort of changed over from the other lot, you know, the D lot.
The other brand.
That's it, yeah, and we've had a great test and good progression. Tyres were working really well in every dimension. The wear was good, the grip was good. So it's, you know, it's looking rosy, really.
And as a guy who's got to pay the bills and everything else, it's vitally important that you can trust a product supplier like Metzler and you have that ongoing dialogue with them, the development and the research with them.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you know, it is important. You've got to have the right product. You don't just think, oh, great, I'll run Metzler or I'll run this or I'll run that. You know, you run the right product, and Metzler's the best stuff out there at the moment. And I think we'll reap those rewards at the major events. Well, you know, and Scarborough for that matter, which Dean's obviously going to be doing all three of those big races up there. Yeah,
we'll miss you in BSB, Nick, but hopefully we'll catch you up on some of the roads. Maybe it's next year we'll see you back in there, though. You never know.
We'll give it a go.
Give it a go. Thanks, Nick. Well, if I can just ask Dean to step to the mic. Ladies and gentlemen, take a good look at this guy because he is one of the stars of the future, believe you me, when it comes to road racing. His dad races sidecars. He's got no intention of actually doing that. But when I tell you that this guy finished inside the top 10 of the Superbike TT last year with the likes of McGuinness and Cummins and Anstey and Donald and Martin and everybody else, this guy actually ran them very, very close. And he is going to be one of the stars of the future TT races. Would you agree with that, Dean?
It'd be nice to agree with it. Yeah.
Well, first and foremost, I've got to congratulate him because he is from the People's Republic of Yorkshire like myself, so we tend to stick together, these guys. But that last year, Dean, when you were getting them pit signals, you finished 9th in the Superbike race. You followed that up with a 12th in the second Supersport and a 13th, I think it was, in the lightweight. When you were getting them pit signals around the track, did you know that you were going that well?
I'll be honest with you, I didn't have any pit boards.
That's the key to it then.
That's it. No, I never bothered over there because I didn't think I'd be running that far up. I'm still going to learn the place. As everybody knows, it's not the sort of place you're going to go and win in your first year. Obviously, Josh will be over there doing his own work and stuff like that. You can do as much as you can, but you can never replicate being on the track. And I never went thinking I was going to go as fast as I did so soon.
Yeah, well, you certainly went fast, and there's obviously a key to it, because I'll tell you this, folks, as well. This guy here set history at the Dundrod circuit by becoming the first ever newcomer to do a 130 miles per hour lap. That is absolutely phenomenal when you think about that. Again, that was, you look at Connor Cummins and Guy Martin, when they went to places like that, they weren't lapping within them sort of lap times. What have you got that these guys haven't got, Dean, that allows you to learn a circuit so quick?
I don't know. I don't even think I know. So I mean, I go ride. Well, I had a good bike. That's one of the main things. It's got to be a good bike, and hopefully I'm a good rider. So you've got to have both of them to go fast.
So what you've done is you've upped the goals for this year, because you're not going to be happy with 8th or 9th or 10th in the Superbike and senior TT, providing they get around to run it. You're not going to be happy with just being best newcomer at the Ulster Grand Prix or the Northwest or the Southern 100. You're going to want to go and have a sniff of a podium this year.
Yeah, that's the plan. Hopefully, this is the bike that's going to take us there. If we can get it going where we want it to go, I don't see why not. I feel confident I can go faster. I felt confident last year I could go faster. Unfortunately, senior were cancelled due to what it's doing outside now, which we seem to see a lot of. But no, it's just about getting. If I can get the bike doing what I want it to do, I'm confident I can go faster, because I think I know what I need to do to go faster.
And you've got the best tyres on that you can have, haven't you?
That's it, yeah. Well, like I say, we had a Metzler test down in Almere in Spain, and it's the first ever time I've actually been testing, so it were a good experience. Tyres are working absolutely spot on, to be honest. We were trying different stuff, and we were getting quicker and quicker and quicker. It was just, unfortunately, we didn't get quite as many laps as we wanted to on that one, but there's plenty more to go yet.
Can I just give you a little bit of food for thought here, Dino? John McGuinness is looking to become the first rider to win a solo TT as well as a sidecar TT, because John has actually hinted that when his solo career finishes, he's going to try and win a TT and a sidecar. Your old man's Conrad Harrison. He knows his way around the TT course. Do you think that when you've won a couple of the solo ones, you might just ask the old man if you could borrow the outfit?
I've actually asked for a go a few times, but he told me where to go. He's like, "Oh, you stick to that." He says, "You're too young for doing this. You need to do that when you get old." But John's He's actually had a go one. He's actually rode Tim Reeves's, I believe.
Yeah.
But not sure if it's 100% true. That's what I've been told, so we'll never know.
Well, there you know. Ladies and gentlemen, in years to come, you will watch this guy and you will say that he's going to be a multiple TT winner. You saw him here at the Ace Café first. Dean Harrison and Nick Morgan. Well, whilst we may have a future TT winner in our midst, we have a current TT winner, because the next guest is a guy that took victory in the Supersport race. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Gary Johnson. GJ? Well, TT winner. Sounds good on the CV, that one.
Yeah, definitely. I keep telling Guy Martin they don't come in cornflake boxes, and we've caught him in a couple of Morrisons trying to get a free one, but they're not there yet.
You recall that Supersport victory it was going back a couple of years now, Gary. Without doubt, the highlight of your career, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. We've done the British racing, but nothing comes up to the Isle of Man TT. And I entered it back in 2007, hoping to maybe get a victory in my career, and now I've got one, and I want to add to it.
You know your way around the short circuit, it's fair to say, because you won the 2005, I think it was, Supersport Cup. You nearly won the British Evo Championship had the team decided to go to a couple more rounds. But then you kind of turned yourselves away from the short circuits and onto the roads. What made you make that decision?
Put it bluntly, you know, finances was the first thing. I couldn't afford to carry on doing the British racing. You know, ultimately, I really love doing short circuit racing, but you know, I couldn't afford to keep up a competitive package to be there. So you know, road racing gave me another option, another avenue, and ultimately, once I tried the road racing, I got pretty hooked on it and wanted to stay there.
Well, you're going to have a wobble around on this beast at the TT, but I'm not sure whether anybody picked up, I'm sure you all did, that recent announcement, the historic announcement, that the brand of MV Augusta are actually going back to the TT, and Gary Johnson is going to be on board one of the F3 machines in the Supersport race. Now, the likes of Reed, Harewood, Agostini, Johnson, you've got a little bit of pressure there, Gazza.
Yeah, definitely. But you know, the MV brand, it's iconic around the world. You know, what it's done in the past is unbelievable. And, you know, it's coming back with a strong bike and, you know, Jack's in charge of it. You know, there's
Jack Valentine, as in Valmoto, ran Foggy Patronus, ran the Crescent Suzuki squad, ran Swan Yamaha, I think, for a number of years. So he's got a lot of experience as Jack.
Yeah, he's, you know, he knows his way around a motorbike and a team and how to build something competitive. So he's going to put the MV package together and, you know, it's come out the crate flying. It was at Phillip Island. It was running fourth with Robbie Rolfo. So, you know, to come out so raw in its building that, you know, Jack's hopefully going to build on that. And we know it's a fast motorbike. We know it's handled well. You know, that's an MV trait. It's yet to see if it handles around the Isle of Man yet, but, you know, hopefully if it holds together, which is a big thing for any motorcycle around the Isle of Man, it's going to be competitive and, you know, I'd like to be on the podium and ultimately on the top step.
Yeah, need a bit of luck, don't you, after what happened a couple of races last year. Well, that's fantastic, but it's important. A bike can be the best handling bike in the world. You can be the best rider. If you've got tyres that are no good, then it's pointless, isn't it? And good to see you've signed up for Metzeler this year.
Yeah, ultimately running my own package and with Jackie, give me an open, you know, which tyre manufacturer I wanted to go with, and I've rode all the brands out there, and you know, I wanted to personally come with Metzeler because you know, the grip well, the handle well, you know, and at the Isle of Man, a big thing is just having stability, and if you ain't got stability, then you're not going nowhere, and they are a good, sticky, stable tyre, and so, you know, that's the way I wanted to go.
And it would have been TT win number 2, would it not, last year, had it not been for another cup full of petrol?
Yeah, you know, you've seen the price of petrol around here and at the Isle of Man, you know.
Yeah, you don't tune in for economy, though, around there, Gazza, surely.
No, it's... we made a few mistakes and the bike ran out of fuel, and I tell you what, you are absolutely gutted to do 4 laps.
You pushed it from, what, Governors?
Governor's Bridge, so to do 4 laps and run out there, you know, some people would have chucked it in the fence. There was no way, there's more material to me, and I just thought I'm pushing that baby home, and it maybe didn't look the coolest skipping it along the line, but you know, it felt good just to cross the line.
Yeah, and you've got to finish, mate, that's what it's all about. Finally, have they given you the freedom of brig these days? Can you drive your sheep through there now that you're a TT winner, or what privileges do you get?
I got the key to the village that I live in, so I can now just go to the local toilet and the village hall and library, and that's about the only privilege you get in the little place I live. So there's no hills to go rolling down or out like that. It's as flat as it comes. But yeah, it's nice to have a TT win behind us, and you know, in our local pub, it's people always patting you on your back, and you know, it don't go unnoticed. So you know, it's a little. Not an ego trip, but it's nice to have it on your CV, and it's nice to everyone to know it.
Can't take it away from you, Gary. And he has been known to wobble around the Southern 100 and the Northwest and the Ulster Grand Prix. He's pretty good around there as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Gary Johnson. Well, from one rider that knows how to win a TT, we've seen and heard another newcomer. Well, probably... Can I put it like this, without putting too much pressure on him? The highest profile rider to make his debut at the TT. That is what we're talking about, and he's going to tell us all about it. 2 times a World Supersport Championship winner, and also twice a runner-up in British Superbikes, all the way from Sydney in Australia, Josh Brooks. G'day, mate. Well, we joke about that from Bringelly, it's pronounced, not Bringelly as a lot of the commentators pronounce, in Western Sydney. Brooksy, what makes you come across to live in this weather?
Just the love of bikes, mate. You'd be most people would be quite surprised at that, but it's just motorbikes. I want to be racing, and I want to be at the top level, and this is a stepping stone to where I want to get to. So if I want to be on track, I've got to be over here. So that's a sacrifice I make.
Was that a little bit unfair, putting that pressure on you there, saying that it's the highest profile debut at a TT? Probably we could throw Plater into that one, I would imagine, going back a few years. But you've won 2 World Supersport races, you've won 11 British Championship races, you're twice a runner-up. Wearing pretty big boots out there, Josh, so to come and say, yeah, I want to go and wear a novice jacket around the TT course and try and match the likes of McGuinness and Martin and Donald and Anstey and everybody else, it's a big commitment, that.
Yeah, it is, and I'm going to do it with pride. I'm glad that people have recognised that what I've done and achieved, and what I also want to go on to achieve. And Suzuki are a bit taking their time with their MotoGP project, so I haven't quite put a leg over a MotoGP bike yet. But there's a lot of other things in motorcycle racing that I want to achieve, and in recent years, the TT has become one of those things that I've wanted to be part of. So. It took me a few years to get the opportunity to take a part, and now it's finally come with the Taiko Suzuki team, and no better team to do it with than TAS.
They've got a lot of experience, Josh, and I'm pretty sure that this might not have happened had you been riding for any other team. Philip and Hector Neal have got a lot of TT wins. They've also got a couple of high-profile TT stars already in that particular team. What with Connor Cummins and Guy Martin, are you going to be relying on them to give you some information, or are you going to do things on your own?
I'm going to try and learn from anyone I can. Even the slowest guy on the track might have some idea or something that I'm not clued up on. So I can learn from anyone. If it's the fastest guy, then great. But anyone out there that's ridden before me and has more knowledge than I have is someone I'm going to find valuable, and I'm going to listen to what they have to say and see if I can use it to help me and keep me safe, and then also help me to learn and become competitive at the Isle of Man.
How do you prepare, Josh? Are you going to get a road bike and go across there on your weekends? It was only announced in October, November last year that this is what you're going to do, but obviously you've had it in your mind for a little while. You've done the parade laps, you kind of know your way around there, but how are you going to prepare for what's going to be effectively one of the biggest races of your life?
Yeah, that's right. Although people, and as you say, it was only announced at the later part of last year. For me, it's been a project, and it's been a few years I've been working at it. It's a strange way I've come about wanting to take part in the TT. Being in Australia, there is no on-road circuit racing. It's all short circuit stuff. So I wasn't born and grew up with any of that influence, but. It was actually 2009, Neil Tuxworth invited me over to watch the TT and watch John McGuinness, and I flew over on a dodgy little aeroplane and thought I was going to die on the way there, and then he walked me up through the paddock and we walked up through the pits, and from that moment there, immediately I thought, this is a bit of me. Why aren't I already here racing? It seems strange that something so big, so with so much emotion and so much atmosphere, and I hadn't already considered taking part in it. So basically from that moment there on, it was stewing in my mind to consider racing it, and then I started to ask the question of, can I race it? How do I go about it? Would you just give me a ride? Does it clash with BSB? What's going to stop me from doing this in the future? And I worked, and then now finally Taiko Suzuki and the TAS team have given me the opportunity to go and race it. And as you say, it's a difficult thing to learn. It's not something I'm familiar with. I haven't done any roads before now, apart from when I got my license and have been out on the public roads. So I'm doing all the standard things that people do. Everyone knows to watch DVDs and look at past race videos and stuff like that. But I found that most value and best learning I've had is from actually being there on circuit, whether it's in a coach listening to John McGuinness talk about the circuit, or whether it's on a motorcycle or a big tourer or a sports bike or a step-through scooter, or or a transit van. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter what you're the driver of. It's just, you know, doing laps and learning where the dips are, where the rises are, which turns are blind, you know, what follows the next. And, you know, I've got quite a good knowledge of the circuit already just from the study I've done, but I'm definitely not satisfied with what I've got at the moment. There's still a lot more to learn and a lot more to do before it comes time to go to there for the event. I'm going to make trips over between BSB events to try and speed up the learning. And I don't know what to expect on the first year results-wise, but I'm just going to go there and enjoy it and see how quickly I can learn. And I mean, it would be ideal to replace someone like John McGuinness. You know, in the next few years, he's probably going to be giving it up, and you know, in the next few years, I might learn quick enough that maybe I could then become someone that's known for being successful.
Yeah, well, we wish you all the best with that, Josh. And a secret that Josh told me when I was talking earlier on, the way that these riders learn the course, not through place names, not through speed, through gear changes. He'll watch an onboard lap and he will see what gear to go around a corner in, and he'll know instantaneously where he is on the TT course, which I thought was a very sensible way of learning it. If we can just move away from the roads very slightly, onto BSB, where you and I know each other probably best from. Twice a runner-up now in the British Championship. Last year, he came very, very close to winning that British Championship. Had Shaky Byrne had a problem in that very last race at Brands Hatch, bike stopped, he'd fallen off, you were British champion. Now, I think that you're going to want to go one better this year.
Yeah, of course. You know, I've been racing the British Superbikes for 4 years now. This will be my 5th season, and you know, my career here didn't get off to the best of starts, but I feel like we're gathering momentum. And you know, like you said, last year was definitely very close. And I mean, Shaky's first class. You know, I was following him around there on that last race, and you know, I kind of almost knew that he wasn't going to make a mistake and it wasn't going to change, and he was going to be the British champion for that season. And but you know, you kind of hope and pray that something's going to fall in your favour. But you know, on that time it didn't. The year before, you know, the rules played against Shaky and he didn't win. And you know, this year it's all to play for again. You know, so I feel like you know, the Suzuki and myself and the team are just building momentum. You know, we've got a great sponsor in Tyco supporting the team now, so that gives us greater strengths. We can go testing more. We can develop more about the motorcycle, and then that transfers onto the track, and you know, we can improve and be stronger and get more race wins, and then hopefully you know, at the end of the year we can put on a good show and actually get the championship. And you know, now that I've got a great following from the British fans, it'll be good to win it now that people are actually behind me. And you know, I'm going to carry on racing bikes and do it for myself, but it's great to have you know, all the support there as well.
Because if we're being brutally honest about this, Josh, as you said, your arrival into British Superbikes was rather controversial. And yeah, you're a nice guy and everything else, but there is this bad boy image that kind of follows you around a little bit. You're a little bit anti-authoritarian. You were banned from races, 3 races in the British Superbike Championship for things that happened or whatever. You kind of stuck 2 fingers up at the establishment a little bit. Is that why the fans tend to like you, or what's the reason?
I don't know. You know, I got to try and keep the bad boy Brooks.
Bad boy Brooks. Yeah, I can see
in the shadows.
The black moustache and the black hat and everything. I can see it all just coming out.
Yeah. Hide behind the shades,
yeah.
But yeah, there's definitely a darker side to me that I try to keep behind. You know, it hasn't always had the fans on my side, but I think now that that people can see what I'm trying to do and where I'm trying to go, and someone's got to stand up for their own beliefs and ride for themselves and what they believe in.
Yeah, it gets a bit scary in that Tyco Suzuki garage, believe you me, ladies and gents. A couple of facts before you let you go. This guy also, as well as being one of the world's greatest road racers, he did something last year which no other road racer has ever done. There's a small event up in my neck of the woods called the Scott Trial, which is the toughest one-day trial for observation and time. The likes of Dougie Lampkin and James Dabil and everybody else, Amos Bilbao, they've all done it. This guy actually did it last year, and what's more, he got round and he actually finished the toughest trial in the world. He had a decent pit crew that day though, Josh. And also, something else that nobody remembers about Josh Brooks is that he's won on Metzeler tyres before, because back at Silverstone in 2010, there was a double header when a lot of the superbike riders took chance to learn the new circuit. And Josh Brooks went out there. He didn't just win one of the Metzeler Superstock 1000 races. You won them both, mate, just for good measure. So keep your eye on Brooksy. I wish you all the best at the Isle of Man. Wish you all the best in BSB as well. Ladies and gentlemen, the global superstar that is Mr. Josh Brooks.
Thank you.
Right, we're getting towards the end, folks, and hopefully everybody's enjoying this live broadcast on the internet. But I just want to see if he's about, actually, the owner of the Ace Café, Mr. Mark Willsmore, whether Mark is about. We're just going to get Mark, actually, because there's one or two significant happenings this year at the Ace Café here in West London, of which Metzler are organising this Road to Legend 2013 launch. Come on, Mark, come on up here. We're going to get Mark up here onto the stage just to tell us a little bit more about it. It looks like he's getting his stage costume on. But here he is from the Ace Café, Mr. Mark Willsmore. Well done, Mark. Good to see you.
Despite the weather.
Yes. Well, we didn't quite order, especially when we've got a lot of Italians in the room tonight as well. We didn't quite get that one quite right. Mark, great to have such a prestigious event like the Metzeler 2013 launch here at the Ace Café for you.
No, it's a real privilege. But then we kind of share anniversaries. Metzler's 150th this year, and the Café's 75th. Café's been here a long while. But I think it's the first time we've actually had a pair of elephants in the room.
Yeah. Yeah, you're probably right there. Yeah, a couple of pair of elephants. And that's not referring to us on stage, of course, there.
No,
so,
of course not.
So, a very historic venue here. You can read all about it on the internet, but the Ace Café strikes like memories for me for the rockers that used to come along, and the 59 Club and things like that. Back in the day?
Well, for sure. In fact, we still have very close relationship with the 59 Club, whose history is kind of part of the Café's history. In fact, Enrico from Metzler is chatting away to Father Dennis from the 59 Club, and Father Dennis is down here every Friday night, come rain or shine. But I must say, I did notice that this evening he's not on his bike, and I've got a feeling that's to do with this awful weather we've got tonight.
Yeah, well, this is the last we're going to see. You're going to get a blazing hot summer this year, Mark, so after the last couple, we're due one, aren't we? But again, you're very, very active. The Ace Café did close down for a short while, but great to see that now it's back to its original form of glory. You've got lots of meets here, both for cars and for bikes.
Well, if it's to do with petrol, ultimately people want to share that passion, and we're effectively a home for those that share that passion of petrol. And of course, Friday night is a night of go out and have a bit of fun and that. But unfortunately, perhaps this evening, the wet puts the dampener on it. But the irony, of course, is that because of this wet weather, we in this funny little island tend to appreciate the good weather all the more. And on occasion are known to overindulge with the fun and antics with engines. Metzler provide the rubber for lots of people to try and destroy.
Yeah, well, that is one way of looking at it, I guess. And whilst we don't condone that, of course, we're being politically correct, it was a place that the Ton-Up Boys used to come on, the Café races back in the 1950s, the mods versus rockers era. Will we ever see them times again, do you think, Mark?
Well, frankly, although the clothing's changed, and of course the bikes have, the technology wrapped up in these fantastic machines down here tonight as an example, the technology's moved on, but the dynamic and the emotion that impels us, mankind, to go faster and faster, that's here forever. So yeah, the clothes, the sounds and the sights may have changed, but the adrenaline and what motivates it hasn't changed one iota. And road racing is a case in point. It's probably the closest thing you can get to, I'd say, organised daring do as one can. And we're not a road race venue per se, but that's the spirit of this place.
Yeah.
So again, going back to Metzler and what they're up to, you know, it seems to me we're perfect bedfellows.
Yeah, absolutely. Long may it continue as well, Mark. Thanks for doing what you do. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Ace Café, Mark Willsmore.
Yeah, thank you. Enjoy the tea.
Yeah. So that's about it, folks. You've heard all about Metzler's plans to enjoy this significant 150th anniversary. Whether you're at the TT, whether you're at the Ulster Grand Prix, whether you're at any of the other road races or British Superbikes, just make sure that you check out the riders riding for Metzeler. Race with Metzeler, enjoy Metzeler, and win with Metzeler. Ladies and gentlemen, good night.